All right, welcome back. So the young man you're looking at on the screen is some kind of EFCC operative that has been basically going viral over the past, I don't know, few days. I'm going to read a quick report from MSN.com. It says the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has arrested a suspected internet fraudster who allegedly killed its operatives during an operation in Anambra State. It was gathered that the suspect opened fire on the EFCC operatives during an operation on Friday, killing an operative in the process and injuring another. According to the official of the anti-graft agency who spoke to the cable, the slain officer was buried in Sokoto on Saturday, adding that the suspect is being detained at the EFCC zonal headquarters in Enugu State. And I quote, the incident was a very unfortunate one. The dead officer has been buried today in Sokoto. Now, there's been some controversial conversation around this, and that's what I wanted to get your opinion on. Some people were saying, in fact, there was one particular popular guy, Solomon Bucci. His name is, he claims to be a youth pastor / social media commentator, all kind of stuff. Anyway, he said he served him right. Like, why are you breaking into people's homes in the name of your EFCC person in the middle of the night? So that conversation has sparked off a lot of controversial opinions around Nigeria and on social media. I wanted to get your take on it.
See, the pastor you have just identified, the youth pastor and the social media activist, is not acting outside what EFCC advertised about the change in its modus operandi, in its mode of operation in the past. It said, I mean, if you check their website, unless they are doctoring things up, it was there that they will not go after anybody in the middle of the night. And there would be no sting operations. They said that. And then
really?
They themselves said it. And then you look at what was involved in the whole drama, the entire melee. You find out that they find out that the bloke who has now been held as a suspect was having a laptop. They said he was into some form of a trading activity, which in Nigeria may not constitute having to hunt on the internet online, would not constitute a criminal breach in any way, and so on and so forth. And then having a kind of car. But if you come in to conduct or to serve a warrant of arrest on somebody, I think it has to be done properly. In Nigeria, where you don't know who is a crook or who is indeed acting in the name of the law, storming the house of somebody in the middle of the night cannot be proper without proper identification and following laid down rules of discharging such duties. But we cannot justify the killing of anybody in uniform. Please let that be underlined. We cannot justify the killing of anybody in uniform. But how were the people who came with this EFCC official who lost his life in an unfortunate circumstance this week? How did they conduct themselves when they got to the property where they were executing this arrest? These are the details that must be captured, and let nobody behave as if the fact of working for an auspicious organization like EFCC could be an excuse to violate the right of the average citizen, whether in Nigeria or anywhere for that matter. Beyond that, the rule of engagement has to be respected by all and sundry when it comes to all this. The zeal with which these people went after this Nigerian youth, whom they are now keeping in their facility. We do not know what kind of charges they will want to prefer against him, but we did not see this kind of excitement in executing a warrant against somebody who allegedly stole billions belonging to the people and government of Kogi State, like the man who disgraced himself as the governor, although voted in as a youth. We never saw that kind of excitement in them. When it comes to the big men criminals in Nigeria, the Efcc does not demonstrate this kind of zealousness. We don't see this kind of zeal in them. But when it comes to people that they are profiled, you must appear somewhere. I mean, somehow you have a kind of hairstyle that does not really communicate to the Nigerians a traditional or customary standard, or you are handling an expensive phone. Although you know how young you were, you know your age when you started cruising your father's Mercedes Benz in Nigeria. Are you there? Hello?
I am here. I just kind of stay muted to make sure audio is good. Yes.
Yes. You know how old you were when you started driving in Nigeria.
Right.
If any youth tried what you were doing in those days, I mean,
they'll be harassed.
You remember how young I was that I would sneak the key to the cars and would drive you people around or would take Babanjo's a small car called, and people will be calling him where he was a supervisory councillor at our local government headquarters. That we saw Dimegi driving around town in your car, and then my brother will be at home waiting for me. If you tried that in Nigeria of today, I mean, there have been people. There is a cousin of yours who told me he started driving at the age of 10.
It's very possible.
Yes,
very possible.
I know of somebody who started driving from age 13, 14. By the time we were out of high school, we could go to unimaginable distances across Nigeria. We were having fun. We grew up seeing our elder brothers, cousins, members of our extended families enjoying Nigeria's boundaries this way. But today, it's become a crime. All these things are being criminalized. Just because of the way you look, because of your age. Who says you cannot aspire towards success from any given age, so long you are not cutting corners? And you know how we frown at crimes in our family.
Mm-hmm.
But that tradomcentrism does not also mean that any policeman, any law enforcement agent will come after you with with this license to kill, snub the life out of an aspiring youth. So why is it that Nigeria has become such a hostile country where youths can no longer live out their dream? We are totally against all kinds of internet fraud, all kinds of fraud, whether internet or not. But the ones our people should be talking about, one big man, Chief the Honorable, stealing, grabbing what should serve the interest of millions of Nigerians. There's no excitement about going after such people.
So Chief, right? I mentioned the gentleman's name. I want to make sure I correct something before we continue, right? Solomon Buchi, he came back. So it was basically very dark man that was calling him out for wishing death on an officer. He came back and he posted, "I did not rejoice," and I quote, "I did not rejoice over the death of an EFCC officer. I rejoiced that the man had a licensed gun to protect his family from unknown gunmen who jumped into his compound in the dead of the night. I would do just the same if I had a gun."
See, let me tell you of another situation. Back in Akure, I have a friend from my university time, a native of Ifon. He worked with the Ondo State government's Department of Inland Revenue, the state IRS there. You know that this guy kept some ferocious dog in his company, and so-called and this is the guy who legitimately works for the government of Ondo State. Some so-called operatives of whatever agency jumped into his company. Those dogs were going to make a live feast of them. Thank God they were able to jump. They were able to find their way out of that. So it could have been some caged animal. It could have been some dogs on the loose, other than even the bullet. You do not invade a man's privacy without giving adequate and proper notice. This is the point we are making. I don't think anybody, like I've emphasized, we do not like
to the point you were making earlier about even young kids not being afraid of looking a certain way earlier, right?
yes.
Or driving around town in their father's car, and then that's suddenly becoming a crime. Solomon Buchi went on to say, if Mark Zuckerberg was Nigerian, EFCC would have raided his dorm where he started Facebook and accused him of internet fraud because he had laptops and was caught coding. Nigeria is a hell for talents.
That's right. So how can it constitute some material breach to be coded? How can it? I mean, you do C++, you are coding. Somebody comes after you. That must in itself have the implication of committing a crime.
Unfortunately, you probably couldn't see a lot of the videos I've been showing to the screen. They're showing a lot of videos of EFCC invading people's privacies, breaking in, and CCTV capturing them, misbehaving in the middle of the night in the name of being EFCC.
It is really unfortunate, very sad. Nigeria cannot continue with this attitude of impunity. You cannot use impunity to cure the disease of impunity. This is what we're saying. There must be due process on all sides. Citizens must respect the law.
It only seems like they are going after Yahoo boys, nothing else.
But without making somebody go through proper process, without processing an individual, how do you now suddenly conclude that this person is Yahoo? How do you reach that conclusion? You know?
Based on the bunch of tweets I'm seeing right now, they're saying once they see laptop, they call you Yahoo boy. They just call it Yahoo once they see a laptop.
I've seen such irresponsible conduct at times. You know, as a journalist, whenever I'm in Nigeria, I'm mostly on the road, and I love to take in the what's it called, the sceneries. You know, Nigeria can be highly scenic. So the deal is that in the course of traveling Nigeria up and down, I have witnessed so many things, and I've had to stand my ground, you know, insist on my rights, sometimes at enormous risk. Somewhere at the police station around the issue Akoko, I mean, before you get to Ibilo, there was the time they were going to drag me into the middle of nowhere. I told that guy, you're just wasting your time. You will just waste your bullets, and we will still drag you before the entire war. I've seen soldiers doing all kinds of stuff, and you are saying you are not winning the war on crime against insurgency and all. How can you win when you are distancing and causing kind of disunity between all these institutions and the citizenry? It's not done that way. Here you see the way our children will be excited to go through the vehicle of a policeman, how they want to see the wonders of the dash cam and so many other things. And then you see muscular policemen carrying all these boys, and the boys, you ask them, oh, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a fire serviceman. In Nigeria, you say, would you want to dream of becoming a fire service person? They say you're a fire brigade person. You know, there are ways.
That's very dangerous, because then who's going to be those people?
This is the thing. The country should not be a place where young ones are being slaughtered. It's almost like what you find in the days of Herod, and somebody paraphrasing what was in the book of the prophets. Then were Christ's heart in Ramah. Rachel crying because our children are no more. We can't be killing our youth. It's happening over and over. This has got to stop. Nigerian lives, what's it called? Nigerian youth's lives also matter. This is what we say. Yes.
All right. Let's let's go ahead and touch some other stories around the world. Do us a favor, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. A quick shout out to Miss Elizabeth Omotayo. She says, congratulations to President Donald Trump. God bless America. A quick shout out to Joget TV. Joget TV says, very explicit package. Good job. Thank you. And then shout out to my G. Life with Natu.
The guy behind Joget TV was my boss. Back 1995, we floated this outfit in Nigeria, both connections.
Really?
Yes. Through that, we met people like Chief Ebenezer Obey, the late Mr. Gbenga Adeboye, Fuonton, on and on. Egbe Galawal in Ibadan. So many other people. Like, yes, like people you won't even imagine. It took me to several places, and I was even the editor-in-chief of that organization. I was just coming out of the university there.
Well, shout out to Mr. Joget TV.
Yes,
thank you. Thank you.
He's based in Canada. He's based in Canada.
All right, thank you so much. And then we have Bello Taiwo. Mr. Bello Taiwo says both those personnel were just trying to get something from good citizens of Nigeria, while they're different killer everywhere in Nigeria. Thank you so much for that opinion.
Good point.
Yeah. So please hit the like button though. We're coming back. We have some other trendy stories around the world, and we'll be right back.